know why this was set to a vertical format, but it is. I don't even know if y'all can hear me halfway decent, because I don't know. I'm gonna wait for a few of y'all to come in here. I don't want to just chit chat, because I don't keep these up afterwards. So yeah. Good morning, everybody, if anybody is in here. Be interested to see how many people do end up deciding to drop in and say hello. Oh, we do have a little bit of chat. Good morning. Good morning. Good. What we got there? I see your mod, but I don't recognize the name. Figured you had a name changed along the way. Haven't been around a whole lot. Oh, what's up, bud? How's things going, man? Captain Terror. You've got the donut edits and all that stuff too. Isn't that you as well? You're my South African friend, right? Yeah. Cool. So we got an IQ of 544, huh? What does that mean? They used to do these IQ tests. First off, can you hear me okay? Because I didn't do this in the normal format I meant to do it in, and it just got all jacked up. So as long as you can hear me, that's all I care about. How smart you are? Well, I'm smart enough to know that you don't say, well, never mind. Oh, you can hear me perfectly. Anyway. All the IQ tests I knew about used to score you like around 100 to 150, 100, like that range. Like a really smart person's like 120 something or something like that. But I don't know the type of test you took. I know I'm a smart guy when it comes to certain things. Other things I don't know a whole lot of. So I've gotten perfect scores on a lot of my mathematical assessments when I was in school. And then some of the English stuff didn't do so well. So I'm a math guy. I'm a numbers guy. You over-conceptualize everything that you've got going on, you think about probably 10 different angles on whatever you're doing. I'm sure you probably have some ADHD in there too, don't you? Because that's generally why you get overdone. You jump from one thing to another, and it's just non-stop. You can't shut it off. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured. Oh man. Alright, so I got you in here. I had somebody else jump in here for a moment. But I'll probably say this a couple times. I'm not going to be live very long. Figured I'd be live for 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is. I'll be done with my day in about an hour. So it'll definitely be off before that. But I've just been really busy. I just started well, I've had the business, but I've got everything 100% official. I got all of my legal licenses and all that stuff. I've created a website. I've got new business relationships. I've got all sorts of stuff going on. We're in the peak of my side business time. So I do things like I made this hoodie. I guess this is one of my jacket here. This is one of my items that I do. All sorts of stuff. So it's like, yeah. So I'm still of course working my job, but I've got all of that stuff going on too. And then I run events as well as part of my business. Yeah. So triangle end. I can't even read that. Bouncing around like I am. If you're giving me a math problem, don't give me no math problems. It's been a while. You'd have to. I don't even remember the formulas anymore. But like, I can calculate things that I do on a regular, like translating road speed to translating things from like how fast I'm going to distance over time to breaking that down into how many feet per second and reducing that and talking about how many feet it would take to. I mean, there's dumb shit like that I do, but yeah, most of my math stuff is like it's all built into my head. I can't just explain it. Anyways, yeah, so I've got a lot of things going on my plate. A lot of the my manufacturers are overseas. So when it's nighttime for me, when I'm working, it's their normal business hours. So a lot of communication goes towards talking with my manufacturers and getting with them and doing things of that regard. So it's like, by the time I take a little bit of time to rest my brain, by the time I do all this other stuff, I mean, I'm just busy. I'm busy all the time. So I can't just sit here and get on the stream and stream for a little bit in the middle of the night when it really doesn't matter and it's not being productive. So it's just one of those things. It's why I don't have a passion for it. So it definitely never has made me money. And my other business is making me some money. So, but I got a lot of things going. Like I say, I started this whole website, and I've got an e-commerce site that I'm trying to learn and figure out. And it's working. It's simple. I've gotten orders. Everything's going okay that way. But I still have to I got a long road ahead, and I got to be able to I've got real money invested in a real business. I have to put my priorities where they need to go. So I just felt I was going to go live last night just because I was tired, and I was like, I'm at a point right now where I don't need to add more to my plate in the next couple hours. So a little self-reflection in the streaming, a little self-reflection kind of helps me sometimes articulate certain things. Maybe even remember something I should have, remembered. Do stock marketing. Okay, I hear you. Yeah. No, I'm doing good. It's just busy, man. So. Yeah, things are working out. Things are going, I've got thousands of dollars tied up into stuff with my business and It's just like, I got to make sure that I don't screw this up, because if I screw it up, then my family, you know, it hurts them in the long run. And I'm committed on certain levels where it's long term, it's not short term, you know, so yeah. I want you to understand this though. I know you're young, but you're smart enough to understand this stuff. It's fine. You be rich. You push towards that, right? You push towards doing the best that you can do. You go one step over that and keep challenging yourself. Make it interesting. Set goals. Blow those goals out of the water. Set new goals. Do the same with those. But at some point, you will eventually have to understand there is a balance. You have to have a good work-life balance. And if you can figure out a balance, it doesn't mean you don't make money. It's just how you manage your time and how you do things like that. So, yeah. If you have the ability to manage your time, do things for yourself that bring you joy and happiness, while still being able to achieve the financial and business related goals or whatever you've got set up, if you can do that, that's the key. You know, balancing all that is the struggle. It takes trial and error. You'll have times, let's say you have a girlfriend or a wife, and you know, you got to put some of that stuff on the back burner, and she'll want to spend time with you, but you got to go do stuff. Well, why do you do stuff? So you can create more opportunities, you know, for your family in the future, and you know, that way, you know, if you push hard now when you're young, you'll have time later on to be able to do things. But then people say, well, later on I'm going to be tired, don't want to do things, and that's, you know, there's that balance. You got to be able to achieve that balance that suits you in your situation with your family and your future goals. So, anyways, whoever else is in here, I appreciate you coming in here. Welcome. So, yeah, I've been getting my stuff going, and that's a challenge. I mean, I'm 37 years old, and I've been nonstop doing other stuff other than my job. Like I ran a nonprofit for about 6 years. I did a lot of other things that has nothing to do with YouTube. YouTube only did it just so I could learn stuff. You know what I'm saying? I never did it to make money. But anyways, yeah, I've got a lot of things that I've been going and doing, and now we're at a point where all the energy and effort that I've been putting into things that I never made money in, I'm now putting an emphasis on a business that is a profitable business, and it's good. It's going okay. I'm not making, you know, millions of dollars, but you know, I'm making enough to where it feels like the time and energy put in is worth it right now. So, you know, I still have to work my job. I still have to drive this truck, and I'll still probably drive this truck for the next 30 years and still do my business. My business it's heavy in certain parts of the year and it's light in other parts. So, yeah, so and what I'm doing in my business, it takes a lot of skill to do part of it, and it doesn't take a lot to do the other part. You really have to just know the process and know people. So, yeah. Well, that'd be great. If you reach $3 billion before you die, do me a favor. Why don't you just invest into my company, and you know, we could grow the company. How about that? You know, you invest a couple billion into my company, and you know, we'll go that route. Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, let's put it this way. Just so you understand, it's not like I'm broke. I do pretty good. You know, I make a lot of money for what I actually do. But for my regular job, for this job right here. So I make a decent amount of money for this. But, you know, the business is not just for that, but it's to be able to also keep more of my money. You know what I'm saying? You know, taxes and stuff. And so, yeah, just trying to figure it all out. Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, so, yeah, I design athletic apparel, and, you know, I don't physically manufacture it, but I find people to manufacture my stuff for me. And I gotta, you know, coordinate, figure out all that stuff. So, like I say, it's working. It's working. I'm happy with it. So I just had an order come through this morning that would make me about as much money as working this day today for my regular job. So I mean, I've been working on the order, trying to get the customer to go ahead and agree to it, and he's got to double check his financial situations, but you know, it'll be good if, you know, you get one or two of those a week. You know, you start making a quarter of your income every month, then you start making a little bit more, then you start making a little bit more. Next thing you know, as it grows, it snowballs, and you know, I'll eventually get to the point where I have other employees, not just me. I have other employees that can do a majority of the busy work that I can't actually do while I'm here in my job driving this truck at night. So, you know, I can get with them and be like, hey, I need this, that done, and I know the process of getting everything else. I give them the simple tasks that take up the time, and yeah, it would definitely be beneficial. A lot of growth, a lot of movement that's going to happen. So this year is just a year of figuring out the business, figuring out the structure, figuring out the taxes, figuring out how I want it to run. And after that, then we can move forward with larger, bigger, more grand ideas and things like that. So I got all sorts of cool ideas that can make a lot of money, but they require a lot of energy and a lot of effort that I can't sit here and say, I can't give 110% to that business because this job takes a lot. And then my family's at pinch. That's that balance I was talking to you about. So I'm putting forth about 25% effort into my business compared to the amount of effort put into life and work and my regular job. So, but think about this. Numbers guy, right? So you got 25% of your time and effort and energy, and I'm making, 25% of my income. It gives me a little bit of structure, and we're just now starting. We're just now building. You know, I could easily get to the point where, like for instance, like this jacket that I'm wearing right now, right? I have not done any marketing other than talk to people I personally know. If and when I decide to jump and do a larger scale marketing, when and if I do that, I would definitely have more orders than I can fill. And that's where I'm working at now, is I have to be able to keep up with the one thing you don't want to do is say you can do something and not live up to it. So for instance, people, when it comes to selling products, selling items, people don't want to wait. It takes me 3 to 4 weeks to get my products to my door to be able to then warehouse them and ship them out to other people. I do not have a lot of capital to invest into my warehousing. And because of the fact I don't have as much capital to invest into that, it prolongs the amount of time that somebody would get an item. So let's say you went to my website and you wanted to buy this exact jacket that I'm wearing right now. I have this jacket in stock in certain sizes. Well, once I get some orders through, I take that money, reinvest it back into new stock, and I'll have more stock than I started with. That's the process, right? Or if I knew for a fact that I've got a hit product and I've got a hit thing, and I've got hundreds or thousands of these things I'm trying to sell, or orders that I need to fulfill, and I can see that and it's tangible and I know that it's there, it's almost a guaranteed thing. If I had to, I could go and purchase $10,000 worth of product and turn around and sell $10,000 worth of product, make $8,000 to $10,000 in profit. You know what I'm saying? I could do that. It's just a matter of that whole snowball process. It's getting the initial. This year is about getting the processes right, understanding how to do more to the business than just selling you something. So, I'm dealing with the government, I'm dealing with taxes, I'm dealing with importing, I'm dealing with, I got to deal with lawyers here soon, I got to deal with all sorts of other stuff. So there's just so much that I need to focus on the business, because if I get a rock solid foundation, if the foundation is solid, I can then not worry about the foundation. I know the foundational process. I understand everything to get to this point. I can put that in my mind. I can put that, lock it up, and it's there, right? I can teach somebody else those steps. I can create another business later on. I can then, understanding the process that it takes to not just start a business, but to properly run it and do things the right way. Once I go that route and I can figure that out, right, then we can really step up the process of getting apparel, merchandise, whatever the case may be, rocking and rolling. And right now I'm going into a specific niche of customers with my athletic gear currently, but that's going to change. It's going to grow. That's going to, I'm going to do things like right now it's athletic gear. Well, I'm going to transition to all sorts of different stuff. So like right now I'm specializing in wrestling gear. Well, I'll go into making any sports gear, right? Making jerseys for football, making this, that, or whatever, right? Maybe I get into shoemaking. Maybe I get into, maybe I'll have my own. That's the thing, is like branding my own products, making my own products. I may not necessarily manufacture them, but I can design them and get them manufactured. And that's the whole process, is trying to also learn. I got to build a brand that somebody else will want to have. Like, you buy Nike not because Nike's the best quality. The same people that are making Nike shoes are the same people making the Chinese knockoffs of Nike. Okay? It's the same people. It's just a matter of, if you can go in, create brand loyalty and create something that other people appreciate and want to associate themselves with, then you can really start building. And so that's just where I'm at. I want to build a big enough brand that I could venture out into other aspects, use all of that energy and capital to continue to build. So, and that's just half the business. That is literally half of the business. The other half of the business is running events. I run like wrestling related events, coordinate things like that. So when I do those things, as a matter of fact, I got an event today. As soon as I get off of work, I got to go home, shower, rock and roll, and go to that event, set up, run that event this evening, staying in a hotel tonight, running that event tomorrow as well. So you're going through that process of you got to have a successful event, which builds loyalty. And when you're using the same brand, right, you're using the same brand as the title of my business onto, say, making merchandise and apparel that I can sell at my event as well as running a great event, then you're building on 2 times your multiplier, right? You've got a multiplier into how you can bring people into your business, right? And then you create that loyalty local. And then once you get a little bit of loyalty local, then you spread that loyalty out, and you continue to build and build. And next thing you know, instead of me doing things that I do locally, I can do things regionally, and then I can do things that are, even bigger than that, and then nationally. And eventually I would like it to get to that point where I'm a national level event coordinator, event director, and that my business, when I put on an event, I could put on a $500,000 event, and I'm packing thousands of people into an event in a venue, and I have $100,000 worth of merchandise sitting there, right? And next thing you know, every month I'm doing a $500,000 event or more, and I could sit there, use that, create revenue to build my brand and build my business. And I don't want to say my goal is not to quit my job. My goal is to retire from my job as soon as I can, right? And by the time I get to that point, I want to be able to take off with the business after getting things established locally. It'll be about 10 years. Actually, it'll be about 13 years before I retire from this job. And by the time I get to that point in 13 years, I should have 100% confidence and knowledge and enough business experience to be able to build on that level and continue to prosper way past anything I could do in this job. So, I want to get to the point where I can have run $1 to $2 million events a month, be able to profit $100 to $200,000 myself personally. If I could personally profit, even if I could profit $50,000 every month, I would be doing great. So, if I could personally profit, and the thing is I can see how to get there. I know how to get there. I can see the process that it takes to build there, and I could jump into it now. I just don't have the time right this moment to invest into that level of responsibility and that financial obligation as well. So there's nothing worse than getting into a situation to where you let's say you screw up a little too early because you bit off a little bit more than you can chew. That changes the brand loyalty. That changes your customer base. Your customers go, man, that was a shit show, I ain't coming back to that. And then next thing you know, Johnny tells Sally, Sally tells Jennifer, Jennifer tells Colton, and next thing you know, they all just, nobody wants to come to your events anymore, and your ideas, and you just have to start rebuilding that trust and that value, right? So, that's all part of that brand loyalty and all the above. And like I say, if I could do that, if I could build pride and build brand loyalty and things like that, build a base, I could really do very well. And eventually I will. Eventually I'll do it. But I'm not gonna rush it right now. I'm not gonna rush it. But it does take up a lot of my time right now. It's a lot of my brain power goes into it. So that's why y'all haven't seen me. I don't have a lot of extra energy to put towards, say, a YouTube video on a nightly. I don't. So that's why I'm putting this out there now. I had all of this stemmed from, well, a few different things. The main thing is if I am building something that's financially beneficial for my family, then we know that it's moving forward in the right direction. But if it's taking energy and time off if it's robbing my family of time and energy and not giving anything back, if it's being parasitic in that aspect, I need not to do that. And no offense, that's kind of what YouTube is, streaming is. I'm not doing it to make money. it's parasitic on my family and my time, not because of y'all, but because there's no end goal with the YouTube. So if there's no end goal, if there's not something I'm trying to achieve, like what I wanted to achieve, I've achieved. I've learned. I know how to do this. I know how to do the edits. I understand. I may not be the best, but I have achieved the things that I wanted to achieve in it. And it's time for me to move to the next thing, which is this business and the concept. And I can always come right back. If it's like, man, now I know I can put this piece of the puzzle together with the other piece of the puzzle. I can, for instance, all right, here's a something like I'm talking about. All right, I've been in the streaming sense. I know this is just this trucking thing. I got 100 subs. I've been around streaming enough. I know enough streamers that have been doing this for years that I feel confident enough I can build relationships with them and be able to use my business to benefit their, like my apparel business. I could take on and make somebody's merchandise store, right? Like let's say for instance, I don't know, let's say Doc, right? Dr. Disrespect or Tim the Tapman or video game streamer or whatever, and they got merchandise. I want to get to the point where they could be a client of mine and I could host and warehouse their products in their store, and I could handle the shipping, I could handle the processing, I could handle all of that, and also the designing and the products and all that. Because let's just say, for instance, my brand is not very big, but if I can sell my brand to other people, let's just say like that, or a business, right? If I could have these commercial style accounts, which that's what that would be considered as, that would greatly build my business. And understanding those relationships and understand how the marketing and how the sales work, if I can make them money, more money than they were making previously with a better product, they're going to go with me. And that's what I have to build. So eventually, like right now, I'm not at that level where I can take on like Dr. Disrespect or something. But like the people I know now, I could, right? Because I'm not saying I'm not good at what I do, but there's a level of expectation, and I'm not going to take on something more than I can handle. So if Johnny over here is a streamer and Johnny has his own merchandise and Johnny wants me to start making his shirts, making his hats, making his whatever, I host it on my website or create a whole new website for him, and then we're good to go. Like if I can do that and he can make money and he doesn't have to worry about it, and I can create a good customer relationship with them, because my brand would be in it as well. I would have a little piece of the pie in a joint, like my logos will be on the inside of the label, right? So when you wear somebody else's merch, you're going to see my label in that son of a gun. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot to it, but you get to that point where if I can do it with myself understanding the concepts, understanding the business side, because eventually it'll get to the point where I'm just running the business and not developing the merch or shipping out the labels. I'm that guy now, but there will be a point in time where I won't be that guy, and I'll have to build and grow. It's all part of it. So, but anyways, that is why I have not been around on YouTube. Pretty simple. Well, I'm gonna rock and roll off this thing. I hope everything's been good, buddy. I hope you've been good. I hope things are working out for you. I haven't been as active. I pretty much hang out with one or two friends online, and I'll play the game every once in a while with them, and that's about all I do anymore. But yeah, other than that, guys, I'll make another video or two, but don't expect a ton out of this channel. But yeah, feel free. If you ever want to holler at me on Discord, you always can. So anyways, till next time, guys, I hope y'all have a great day. I'll check you out later. Deuces.